Alrighty, welcome to this HonCast.com presentation. I'm Breaky CPK and I'm gonna be your shotcasting host. Joining me as always is Phil the Thrill of the HonCast and this is the TMM match 809. And this is the best out of one series, so we're gonna be actually both teams trying really hard. So we have Team AVI versus Team Imususatu. Actually, you know, those two teams we see them time and time again actually matching up against each other, and it kind of goes back and forth, you know. So really can't wait to see this matchup. So first thing first, Phil, how you doing? Oh well, Brookie, I mean, I'm doing good as always, of course. So I really hope to see actually a good game this game. Yeah, thank you, Phil, actually, for yet again you actually being insightful and stuff. So yeah. Oh, I mean, Bricky, you know, that's what I'm here for. You know, I'm actually bringing up the insight right here just so you can actually have some elf casting. I understand you're like not the best caster out there, so we're actually gonna try to help you out there and stuff. So I mean, thank you for being here, Ricky, and I mean, yeah, you know. Well, I mean, Phil, I mean, you're I mean, this is, I'm not sure. And we see actually on the Legion, on the Hellborn side, we see some people lagging, and then even the great player seems to be lagging pretty hard as well. So, I mean, we're gonna see what happens here. A lot of people actually having a pretty big lag right there. So, I'm not sure if this game is gonna actually play out or not. We're gonna see a remake vote actually coming out from this great player. We're gonna see what happens, and we see even the Pebbles right there accepting the remake right away, but the pink player doesn't want, you know, he doesn't want a remake, so this is pretty weird, you know. He might actually not be lagging like the other players, but
Sure thing.
you know, that kind of stuff happens, you know. There's pretty bad S2 servers and stuff, so we see pink not lagging, and we see like two other people actually lagging. So you know, we see MU Sadu, I mean, a good friend of us. I mean, he's been co-casting for us for a while now, and he's actually shouting out to us. So I mean, shout out back to him, I guess. But we're gonna see a pause vote actually coming out from this fossil right here, and it's probably gonna pass. So in the meantime, we're gonna see two people actually quitting and rejoining the game. So right here we actually see the wretched egg who just disconnected. We actually have a screen cam on him, and he's actually like reconnecting right now. So hopefully for him, he's not gonna get as much lag as he was getting when he actually first joined the game. But I mean, if he gets just as much lag, it's gonna be really hard for him to play right there. Because I mean, he's getting really, like, the lag is pretty much terrible, you know. When you see people lag, usually they like constant lag, so they have like 300 ping and have 0.3 like second lag. But with the great player, it seems like he doesn't lag for like a few seconds, but then after that he starts lagging right again.
Sure thing.
So hopefully for him and the Wild Soul actually who's lagging as well. So
Good choice.
it'd be pretty good for them to not lag, but it seems like he's still getting the DC sign, so it's gonna be hard for him to last it against the Corrupted Disciple mid right there. Hopefully for him, he's actually gonna be able to handle this. But I mean,
This way.
Corrupted Disciples right there getting a very big advantage. But even then, I mean, Wretched Egg getting some pretty good denies. In the meantime, Phil, we could talk about the lanes right there for now. Oh yeah, I mean, we see a Wild Soul Kraken lane, which is, I mean, it's not usual,
This way.
but I mean, it could work. I mean, we've seen Wild Soul time and time again in our casts, actually being, you know, we all know Wild Soul is like two heroes. You know, he has his bear and his hero, so it's kind of not fair for the other team. But if he lags, I mean, there's not much he can do. And in the meantime, we see we see Warbeast actually jungling in the enemy jungle, which is, I mean, we don't see that often, but I mean, we're gonna see how it works out for him. And yet again, I mean, Dangerous Dan just being the horrible cameraman he is, missing the first blood on bottom. Actually, that's Fade getting first blooded by the Armageddon player, which is, I mean, is bad news. I mean, we've seen Armageddon players actually getting farmed pretty early in the game, and that's really bad news for them. We see Corrupted Disciple actually manning up on this Richard Egg, but Richard Egg doesn't care about it, and you see the bad blast for the last hit and the taunt coming out. And you know, the Corrupted Disciple actually making a huge blunder right there, actually canceling the potion of Richard Egg, which is pretty, I mean, it's pretty gay when you think about it for the Richard Egg, who actually just wasted 100 gold right there. But I mean,
This way.
so right now it's 1-1 on the kill score, I guess, and I mean, it's not bad for the Hellborn side, because you know, when you think about it, you can be behind because you have a War Beast in the team. So if the War Beast gets farmed up, you know, there's a comeback anytime. So we see actually Corrupted Disciple right there conduiting this Richard Egg. Richard Egg just blinks away, and yet again, actually Devour picking up a kill on this Lightpool player is actually,
Sure thing.
his name is On Staff Sucks, so that's pretty offensive when you think about it for this organization. And we see Richard Egg actually blinking on the potion of Corrupted Disciple right here, so pretty good play by him, canceling his regen, doing the same medicine who just Corrupted Disciple just did to him. So in the meantime, we see actually Richard Egg trying to buy a bottle on the chicken, but he actually had to leave, so the chicken is not binded anymore, so that's bad news for him. In the meantime, I mean, Corrupted Disciple is still taking very big harassing damage from this Richard Egg, so I mean, and we see Fade yet again seems to be diving right there for a kill, but Armageddon just picking her off yet again, so this Armageddon is gonna get farmed really quick, which is really bad news for this Hellborn side. And the lag seems to have stopped for this Richard Egg, so this is actually at least pretty good news for him. And we see Warbeast actually diving for this Slayer, summoning his wolves, but it's not gonna happen. And Fade actually, you know, when the team starts to trash talk each other, I mean, that's always bad news for the team. Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, Bricky, you know, like we've seen some teams just absolutely crash from this trash talk from a team. So you know, like we could call we could think about like complexity. You know, they just started like arguing with each other, and I mean they just stopped playing with each other right after. It took like 2 months, and it just stopped right away. So hopefully this isn't gonna happen with MU team, but I mean, best of luck to them for sure. But we see Corrupted Disciple actually picking up an illusion rune right there. Richard Egg actually failing and haunting the illusion, so good for the Corrupted Disciple, I guess. But I mean, Corrupted Disciple's level 5, and this Egg is level 6 right now, so this is pretty bad for him.
Piece of cake.
And we see yet again Armageddon actually picking off this Fade, so this is really bad for the Hellborn side. Armageddon Fed is really hard to kill. This is pretty much what's happening right now. So in the meantime, I mean, we see the top lane actually Kraken picking up his boots, which is not bad. Devour being pretty low HP and picking up a bottle for a side lane, which I mean it's not always really good. But I mean, if this Corrupted Disciple doesn't pick up a bottle, but he did already, so I mean a pretty bad pickup for this Devour, but can't really argue with him. He's the pro player right here, and I'm just a caster. So in the meantime, we see Pebbles and Devour both having a bottle and going top rune, and we see even Corrupted Disciple going for the top rune. So it's like triple bottle going for a top rune. I wonder who's gonna get it if it's top, but and hopefully for this Richard Egg, it's actually gonna be bought, and he's gonna get it. But I mean, so Devour actually going back top, and this also Kraken lane, which is, as I said earlier, is not the best lane. But I mean, what can you do? That's the team they picked, and we see Corrupted Disciple actually he picked up the DD rune at top, so activating it right away for some reason. Still being level 5 against this Richard Egg who's level 7, so Warby's actually getting initiated on by this Witch Layer at bottom, but I mean Armadon diving the tower, Warby's being pretty low, but Armadon taking some tower damage, and the fight's gonna end there, you know. And pretty good escape by this Warbeast, which is actually level 4, which is not bad for a Warbeast, you know. He could actually pick up some farm and you know, just come back in the game. And we see Fate dying yet again to this Wild Soul and Armadon and Witch Slayer combo, so this is really bad for him. In the meantime, we see some interaction from the
Good choice.
the dark green player who's actually asking this gray player if he's casting from Quebec. I mean, this is pretty unclear what he's kind of trying to say right there, but I mean, it's pretty clear the gray player is not casting anything or else, and he gets actually picked off by this Corrupted Disciple who hid in the woods, which is pretty bad plays from him. But in the meantime, Warby's actually gonna farm mid, so Warby's gonna get some levels and help him farm in the woods after that. So I mean, it's a death, but not too bad from him. Also, actually, you know, picking up those lasts, it's not missing any opportunity. So we see actually both Armadon and Witch Slayer being level 6 right there, which is pretty bad news for the team, you know. Fate still being level 5, getting out-leveled by a dual lane, which is, you know, not when you want to be... not what you want to see. And Devour actually trying to kill this Kraken top, but I mean, Kraken has a life too, so he's pretty much unkillable. And when he gets a helm, you know, they're gonna use some pretty big farm to kill him. In the meantime, Armadon actually picking up his life tube as well, but I mean... it's still looking pretty good for this Hellborn side. Warbeast with some pretty decent farm for early game, and if this Disciple gets greedy, he's gonna get ganked hard. So, oh, he actually picks up the ace from the rune he just got. It's actually acing on this this Hag who's blinking away, bottling it up, and he's gonna die the tower, but getting ulted by Hag, and he's gonna fall right there. And Hag's gonna spam a macro like he must be Brazilian because he doesn't even know how to type bad. But anyways, it doesn't really matter right there. He gets the kill.
What?
Fate actually being level 6 ulting and trying to scout out this Witch Layer. Hag actually is following this Fate, but I mean nothing's gonna come out of it. Fate actually being just level 6, so his ult is already over, and Witch Layer actually camping mid. But Witch Slayer has no mana, so if Fate wants to gank mid, I mean, he could for sure, but Fate's actually gonna just, you know, he's gonna back, which is a pretty good decision, you know. Armadon actually pushing the bottom tower right there, which is, I mean, if he gets an early tower like that, it's pretty bad news for the Hellborn side, which, I mean, you know, you can't blame them for actually trying to come back. I mean, they have a Warbeast, so they're gonna win late game for sure if the Legion side doesn't address the Warbeast. And we see actually some spectators coming in. I mean, this is a pretty competitive game, so I mean, we see that happening a lot. Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, you know, Bricky, I've been watching a lot of competitive gamer lately, and we see spectators coming in all the time, and I mean, good thing we actually at S2 Games we actually fixed the bug which allowed the spectators to spectate other spectators, and that would cause the game to crash. And you know, I mean, I've actually banned some people who actually were crashing the Moon Mains their stream. So and hopefully that bug is fixed for sure. But in the meantime, we see Fate actually ulting right there on the Witch Slayer, and Witch Slayer is gonna get initiated on by Fate and Wretched Egg, who's gonna come in and Bad Blast, and he's gonna slow the Armadon. Armadon has no mana, but we see the Grey player actually lagging really hard right there. But the Armadon, I mean, is taking some heavy damage for sure, and I mean, Wretched Egg is just gonna blink in front, or actually just behind this Armadon, but this Armadon is gone, and we see the Grey player actually picking up a kill right there. And this is pretty bad news for the Hellborn side. You know, Wretched Egg with early farm is just, you know, she's a snowball hero for sure. You know, I mean, we've seen him we seen Richard Agri. I mean, in the latest OnCast presentation, I mean, we've seen Hani actually playing Richard Ag and finishing up. Actually, he finished up the wing boy at the end of the game and actually kind of out carrying a mage main. So we're gonna see how that pans out. Oh yeah, for sure, Bricky. But in the meantime, we see yet again some Hellborn side. Some Hellborn side. Like there's some trouble in the Hellborn side team. Like this also like, oh my God, ask your Quebec friend to leave. But I mean, like why would this spectator would he's not a Quebecer for sure. I mean, this is pretty clear. But I mean, it seems like the Walsall is convinced that they're Quebecers or something, but it doesn't really matter at this point. I mean, it's pretty bad news. Fate actually falling to the corrupted conduit of Corrupted Disciple along with his Liquid Tide. So this is pretty bad news yet again. I mean, Corrupted Disciple with farm, you can't really expect anything. It is no illusion from Corrupted Disciple actually getting one-shotted from this Wretched Hag, and Wretched Hag is gonna back up and not getting stunned from this Slayer. So, I mean, good news, a big kill. I mean, 1-4 in exchange. You could take it. You could take it or leave it, But I mean, a kill on Wretched Hag is pretty good at this point of the game. And if Wretched Hag actually finishes her Nullstone pretty soon, I mean, this is really bad news for the Legion side. We see yet again Wretched Hag actually big lag, but we see Witch Slayer actually, getting initiated on by this Wretched Hag, actually sheeping the Wretched Hag, but I mean, he's gonna fall for sure to this Wretched Hag and Warbeast combo. Wretched Hag sheeping with 10 HP right there from the Harmadon and Devour combo, but I mean, he's just gonna bottle up right behind, and Harmadon's not gonna dive this Fade, which is a pretty good decision from him, but I mean, Fade might actually stun Harmadon right there, and he could die right there if he's sitting just right there in the lane. Fade's gonna stun him or not. I mean, we're gonna see what happens right there. Fade actually stunning him. Wretched Hag walking up front to this Harmadon and actually blinking out because he has too many stacks of Spine Burst on him. In the meantime, we see this Corrupted Disciple actually is just sitting with Steam Boots and the bottle right there, and Wretched Hag actually being like 1k gold ahead of him. So this is pretty bad news for the mid matchup. But I mean, the Hellborn team is actually lagging really hard, and this is bad news for them. Lag can really screw up your game for you. Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, Bricky, like we're actually seen like many matchups actually just decide over the lag. Like we see when European and American teams face to face. I mean, the server choice actually means a lot to them. We see Devour actually going for the top rune right there instead of the Corrupted Disciple. So we're gonna see this Hag actually trying to pick off this Devour, but Devour just backing out, and the rune seems to be bottom actually since he didn't get him. So maybe the Legion side has no wards, and in the meantime actually we see Fate actually picking off this Devour player and getting stunned by this Pebbles and getting stunned by the Witch Slayer as well. But we see Hag actually having trouble to micro right there, must be because of the lag, and he's gonna back out scared of the Corrupted Disciple. So it's pretty unfortunate for this Fade, but I mean, 1-4 in exchange is pretty good for him, and we see Corrupted Disciple actually going for the bottom rune right there. Actually getting a DD rune, but I mean, Hag is gonna blink in and get the double damage, but Harmadon is right there on her toes. He's gonna bottle up and be fine for sure, but Orbeez actually manning up onto this Harmadon. But I mean, it's pretty bad news for Hag if she doesn't blink soon. But she's just gonna slow this Harmadon and blink out, dodge the Electric Tide from this Corrupted Disciple, and she's gonna be fine. Warby's actually just gonna back out and go farm for more items. I mean, his farm is pretty decent. Actually has Steam Boots in 15 minutes and some gold saved up, so hopefully we're gonna see him carry this game. Hopefully for the Hellborn side actually. In the meantime, we see Walsall actually probably farming for a Frostburn right there. In the meantime, Kraken getting stunned by Pebbles and Witch Slayer, but he's actually gonna ult right there. We see Hag TPing bottom, hoping for a blink in and ult, but she actually lags, but still hits 3 players right there, and she's gonna get a triple kill right there, hat trick, and you know, actually calling out the Sobeds right there. So we see the Hag just, you know, as we said earlier, the Hag is gonna snowball, you know, and we see Corrupted Disciple actually getting chased by Fade right there. Fade picking up the Corrupted Disciple right there, so this is pretty bad for the Legion side, you know, actually getting 4 deaths really early in the game. And I mean, we've seen competitive players talking about this over and over again, you know. The SS gold is so high right now, the SS bonus, that you just get like one fight like this early game, and you know, you just snowball for the rest of the game, and just one fight early game can actually decide the rest of the game. So this is pretty bad for the Legion side. I mean, hopefully for them they're gonna recover from this, but I mean, I don't wanna, like, there's no favorites here for me, you know. I really like both teams. I mean, AVI's team, I just love that team, and you know, MU Sadu as well. I mean, MU Sadu is a great leader, you know. He just farms in the woods, and then after that he just, you know, he just comes for his team, and you know, he's just a great leader. So I mean, by farming in the woods, you know, he can actually just watch the game and just tell everyone what to do. So I mean, great leaders make great teams. So, but I mean, AVI is the same, you know. He's actually one of the few heroes in his team who has actually a positive score. So, I mean, a great player for sure. But we're gonna see what happens here. I mean, it's pretty bad to be behind against the Warbeast team. And we see Fate actually going at those Witchlayer right there, stunning, and we're gonna see Hag trying to pick up this Witchlayer, but I mean, it's probably not gonna happen. Witchlayer actually tangoing up, but Hag is gonna blink on the Witchlayer and finishing her off, and actually gonna escape from the back, probably. But Devour actually is right there, so we're gonna see what happens. The Sag actually escapes from blinking, but we see a Harmadon, Corrupted Disciple, and Pebbles chasing the Sag, but I mean, Hag being a high level, actually just gonna escape and farm the creeps away. But I mean, Corrupted Disciple still chasing, and might actually pick off this Hag. But I mean, Hag is steam booting and getting mana to blink out. So we see big release of Kraken from Kraken right here, and Warby's gonna man up on this Pebbles and Walsall. Walsall actually and Warby's picking out the Pebbles, and Armadon has no mana. So I mean, he has to back, and he's just gonna get the procs from his back, Spine Burst. But I mean, in the meantime, Walsall seems to be pretty lucky on his route, so we might see a kill right there. No tower on the Hellborn side, no first hitter, and another route. Walsall, like, Warby's actually summoning his minions, and Walsall and Warbeast just manning up right there. Big Oak by Devour, and Devour actually manning up on both the Warbeast and the Walsall. So we're gonna see what happens right here. Warbeast actually falling, but Walsall still chasing. Armadon actually going back right there, and you know, we might actually see Fade picking off this Devour right there, and we see Witchlayer being main up mode, you know, actually trying to kill, but Fade and Hag still being very high HP, and you know, we're gonna see Witchlayer fall right there to this Hag. Hag probably gonna pick up a double tap right here. Walsall and Corrupted Disciple actually getting hit by the ult. Corrupted Disciple being double haunted, but I mean, we're gonna see the Sag just blink out. Too much damage coming from the Condit and the health of the Corrupted Disciple, but I mean, double tap for him yet again. I mean, he's gonna get his null zone pretty early. And in the meantime, we see Pebbles actually chasing this Hag, but Hag just blinking out, not caring, not giving, you know, just not giving, you know. Oh, you mean not giving a fuck, Ricky? Yeah, well, I mean, you know, Phil, we're just trying not to swear right here, you know. This is a professional organization, so please just don't swear right here.
What?
Oh, yeah, oh man, I'm so sorry, Breaky. This is my bad. I mean, this is not my nature. I mean, me being in the Marine Corps and stuff, I mean, we just don't care about those words, and we're just, like, use them over and over, so, my bad, Breaky.
One of your structures is under.
Oh, you know, Phil, you know, it doesn't matter to me, you know, you're such a great friend, you know, Phil? Like, I can't blame you for this. I mean, no, sorry, Phil. I mean, I didn't want to just, like, to break the atmosphere right here.
This way.
Phil. I mean, Phil. Phil. So in the meantime, we see actually Fade ulting on this Witch Slayer right there. Probably gonna like one-shot him with the wolves of War Beast right there, and we see like he just melts right away. Actually, and we see Wretched Egg actually getting ulted by Devour and Oaked, so it's like he's not looking, you know. In the meantime, we see still mid. It's not over. War Beast actually killing this Pebbles, who actually got slowed by this Witch Slayer, and big stun by Fade actually catching two people right there. So pretty good initiation right there from Fade and Kraken, picking off 2 kills while 2 kills for nothing, you know. We see actually Wretched Egg right here picking off an Invis rune, so no root from Walto, which is, I mean, you could say bad luck, but he's been pretty lucky the whole game. So we're gonna see a big mid push from 4 players on the Hellborn side. I mean, right, I mean, the Armadon, you know, he's pretty tanky, but not that much. If a root comes from the Wild Soul, I mean, Armadon's done for sure. Kraken actually has no mana for his ult, now he does, and Devour actually being right behind the Wretched Egg, and Kraken deciding to actually... Oh, but we see Wretched Egg actually getting ulted by Witch Slayer and just dies instantly, and we see Fade actually, he's probably gonna just one-shot this Witch Slayer right there. Who's pretty low, 600 HP, but he decides not to go, which is a pretty good decision from him. And we see Kraken getting chased by this Armadon, and Corrupted Disciple, Electric Tiding this Kraken, and Kraken's just gonna fall right here. No chance from him, no mana, and no chalice to actually charge away, so this is pretty bad luck from him. In the meantime, we see War Beast actually pushing the bottom lane, which is pretty good. I mean, if the Legion side pushes the middle lane, they're just gonna lose the bottom lane, so it's a 1-for-1 trade, and this is, you know, this is just what the Hellborn side wants, being a late game team, you know, they just don't care. Big airball Oak by this Devour, just catch the end of it, thank you, the interest Dan, so, I mean, you know, Walsall actually not going for Frostburn, going for no Fireblade, which is pretty interesting. We don't see that often on Walsall. We usually see the, you know, Alchemist Bone and Mog farm root, or just, you know, Phase Boots and Mog, but, you know, he's not going for it. So in the meantime, we see Walsall actually getting oaked by this Devourer, which is pretty bad news for him. We see Corrupted Disciple actually getting really out of position right there. But, I mean, we're gonna see what happens. And we see Hag actually hitting 4 heroes with his ult, and Fate actually hitting 3 heroes with her stun. Big release the Kraken on this Armadon. And we see a big hat-trick coming out for this Wretched Egg once again. So this is really bad news for the Legions. I actually conceive of coming out, but I mean, Purple and I mean the whole team pretty much except for Blue don't want to hear from it, you know. So this is a pretty good decision from the Legion side. You know, you never know what's gonna happen, but I mean this Warby is just getting out of control really fast, and also really soon on this Wretched Egg, so we're gonna see what he does. And I mean, Wretched Egg actually being level 17, really ahead of the whole game. You know, three levels ahead of this this purple player who's Corrupted Disciple, who is mid against her. So really bad news, and big genocide. You know, just coming out. Probably gonna see a couple tower fall from this, and you know, just the Hellborn side pushing out their lead. Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, you just said it earlier, Breaky.
Destroyed a Legion tower.
I said what earlier, Phil? Well, I mean, you said it earlier, Breaky.
What? Sure thing.
Okay, so moving on, we actually see the Hellborn side transitioning to the top lane, because I mean the whole team pretty much actually TP'd to the mid lane, but I mean big deny by Armadon actually saving the tower. I mean Wretched Egg just not being fast enough, and we see Corrupted Disciple actually being tossed on right there. We're gonna see Hag blink out, but I mean this is pretty bad news for this Wild Soul. Actually, it's gonna take much hate from the Legion side. Actually, just gonna fall. You know, big toss by this Pebbles yet again to initiate. But I mean, we see Fate actually ulting right there, and a big release the Kraken yet again by this Kraken. Actually, gonna catch much heroes and double stun on the team. But Fate, I mean, she's gonna fall for sure. And we see Wretched Egg, I mean, living with just a few HP yet again. Is just gonna blink out and regen at the base, and we see yet again some. I mean, we see some emotion on this this Hellborn side. But I mean, you know, this is a one fight. You know, you lose 3 heroes and take 3 towers, that's for sure. I mean, nothing wrong with that. And I mean, Warbeast yet again getting farm, actually finishing his Shrunken Head, and you know, like Shrunken Head and Abyssal Skull on Warbeast at 26 minutes. This has to be scary for the Legion side. So I mean, like, you know, you can't really complain right here. And every time, yet again, some big match from Fade, who actually died 9 times this game. I mean, oh yeah, I mean, you know, Breaky, you could actually understand like why Brown is mad right now. I mean, dying so many times in a game, you know, you could actually tell someone would get mad over that. So, I mean, yeah. Yeah, thank you, Phil. So, in the meantime, we see actually Richard Egg, you know, just farming away. Actually, probably gonna go for a sheep stick next. Just, you know, pressing her lead, and we're gonna see Fate actually ulting and scouting the Legion side for the Wretched Hag, and yes, he actually does it. So I mean, we see just no one actually farming the jungle, so this is a pretty good time for this Wretched Hag and Peeves to actually just, you know, farm the jungle and press this advantage. But we see a big scout by Fade, actually 3 people right there going to jungle and actually gonna go kill this Kraken. Kraken actually getting initiated on by this Devour, and you know, he just instantly dies. Fade can't really initiate, you know, he's just gonna die. Actually, Pebble's just jumping on this Hag, and Hag getting disabled massively by the whole team. We're gonna see if he blinks out. No, actually big ult by this Slayer, and you know, just Hag dying to Devour Rod. So this is pretty bad news for the Hellborn side, you know, just getting 2 pickoffs really fast. So we might actually see them trying to force some team fights right there. Warbeast actually finishing his Shrunken Head, and Hag getting a level 3 ult. So let's see what they do. Pebbles actually finishing his portal key, you know, probably 25-minute portal key. It's pretty late. I mean, you know, you can't really blame him. I mean, he's been dying a lot, and his team like has been behind for the most part. So in the meantime, we see Nullfire Blade being finished on this Wassel, Armadon finishing his headdress and boots. Corrupt Disciple actually going for Shaman's headdress as well, and Whistler going for a Sustainer, which is pretty weird, you know. You usually see your supports with like Witchslayer going for cheaper items, but I mean, it kind of looks like he wants to go for a Nullstone. In the meantime, we see Fade with 10 seconds left on her ult, actually initiating on the Scarf Disciple. We're gonna see maybe Kraken try to ult, and Kraken yet again, big ult, and we see Wretched Hag actually keeping in and hitting a lot of people with their ult yet again. We see Armadon double haunted from the ult and from the aunt, so he's gonna fall for sure. Wretched Hag just auto-attacking him, and he's gonna fall right there. And big team fight yet again. 4 deaths for the Legion side, and just 1 death on Fade for the Hellborn side. You know, Fade just dying, you know, by initiating, and you know, this is yet again bad news for the Legion side. We might actually see the Hellborn side actually try to Congo right here with Warbeast and Wretched Hag. This is a pretty good opportunity when, you know, when 4 heroes are dead, they can't really stop them. Let's see, like, you know, we've seen Warbeast take Congo really quick, usually in the games, but I mean 30 minutes Congo isn't bad for sure. In the meantime, we see yet again Wassel farming away. You know, it's what he should do for sure. And Devour yet again with just Shaman interest. You know, you could say that's pretty bad farm, and I'd agree with it for sure. Oh yeah, I mean at 30 minutes you want to Devour more tanky than that, Breaky. Yeah, that's what I just said, Phil. Yeah. Okay, so we see actually Warbeast picking up the tokens right there. The token, which is, I mean, you could argue with that, you know, Warbeast not being really useful when he has no ult. You maybe should have let Hag pick it up, but I mean, all in all, it's a fine decision, I guess. So we see Fade yet again, you know, scouting the whole team for her team, which is, I mean, what she's there for. So I mean, we see the Hellborn team actually appreciating that for sure. You know, Kraken can farm safely, and Wassel as well. So we see also probably gonna just take some pressure from the whole team. He's just being smart and TPing out right there, using the fade scout, and Pebbles just missing the blink stun on him, so he must be pretty frustrated. Oh yeah, Bricky, I mean, like, you know, this game is more about psychological things than, you know, just like what happens in the game. Because, you know, like when Pebbles actually misses or is stunned like that, you know, he gets pissed. And, like, you know, when people get pissed, they start playing worse, and, you know. Anyway, we actually see a big fight brewing up right there. Kraken and Matt actually initiate. Warbeast actually ulting. And we see Wretched getting stunned by the Switch Layer ult, but, I mean, hitting 4 people with her ult yet again. I mean, this is just too much for the team to take, and we're gonna see a big Genocide right there come out. And Warmadon actually taking some massive damage, and, you know, Genocide with no kills, and yet again, I mean, the Grip Layer actually spamming some macros just to demoralize the other team. I mean, we could actually argue that what you just said, Phil, is pretty right, you know. Oh, I mean, you see people spamming macros, even in competitive games, just to demoralize the other team. Yeah, I mean, that's just what you, that's what you just said, Phil. Yeah, I mean, Bricky, that's what I said, because it's true, you know. I mean, I'm here for competitive insight, you know. I mean, this has happened to me many, many times, you know, and I've been there, I've done that, you know, been there, done that, you know, I mean, yeah. Well, thank you, Phil. Anyways, we see Wretched Egg along with Warbeast and Kraken probably just finishing this bottom tower, actually backdooring. You know, they want to finish the game. I mean, it's been 32 minutes, but I mean, the Warbeast just getting out of hand right there. And Pebbles actually blinking in and gonna try to actually finish this egg. Egg actually blinking out of this the hook from this Devour. Warbeast actually manning up, popping his shrunken head, but I mean, it's time to back out from there for sure. You know, the whole team is up. They got the tower, that's pretty good, and that's the end for them. So Fate actually ulting right there yet again, and probably just gonna scout out. We see yet again Pebbles actually stunning this Hag, and Hag is gonna die. Pretty bad play right there from Hag, actually trying to, you know, blink out, but getting stunned by this Pebbles. But I mean, can't really be safe any time. Codex level 1 actually getting picked up by Fade. Fade actually trying to kill this Pebbles, actually gets it, and Whistler's probably gonna try to kill his Fade. Big hook by Devour, and right there he's gonna fall, and Devour actually picks off the kill. Actually finishing himself of like Legion not too long ago for sure. So I mean, you know, you could say bad news for the Hellborn side, but I mean the game's pretty much over already. You know, Shieldbreaker level 2 on Warbeast, along with Abyssal Skull and Shrunken Head, and still has a token of life, 1 line of Rex down. Oh yeah, I mean, like, we usually see farming teams like the Hellborn side actually falling behind the early game, you know, and that's like, they just try to come back, but I mean, it's not happening this time. Yeah, you're right, Phil, but I mean, why is that? Well, you know, I mean, like, you know, Bricky, you know, like, Bricky, like, you should know this. Oh yeah, like, yeah, you're right, Phil. I mean, I actually know this, you know, because I mean, the farming teams can be active like the ganking teams, you could say, and they actually just get ganked and like fall behind on farm early game. But I mean, their heroes just scale better and actually win the late game by having some like big farm on one hero, and actually that hero just changes the game for the team. Oh yeah, like that's. Bricky, that's just what I was gonna say, Bricky. So I mean, everyone should know that already. Okay, yeah, thanks, Phil. So in the meantime, we see actually the Hellborn side actually grouping up at bottom. You know, they're just gonna keep pressure on the Legion side, who actually like is clearly behind right here with the lane pushing in. So I mean, the Hellborn side can actually just wait. Like, you know, they can wait outside the base and just wait for the mid lane to actually push in. So we're gonna see what happens right here. Fate actually being top, so the Hellborn side could actually just wait right here and wait for Fate. You know, wait for the mid lane to push in. But I mean, you know, Boo Boo just doing some massive damage to the Rax, or this is pretty much obligate. Oh, big miss by this Kraken, actually just releasing the Kraken on nothing pretty much. which is actually stunning this Kraken, but I mean, the team's just gonna push out this Rex while the
A Legion barracks has
the War Beast actually just gets down, but I mean he has a token, and yet again, I mean you see Reshodag landing those big ults on 4 people. I mean 4 people alive, he just kills the 4 people, and you see a big hatchery coming out from this Wild Soul actually on Boo Boo with the Build on Fireblade and a Shrunken Head on his hero right now. So I mean, not much he can do, and we see the GG well plays coming out, and the game's over. Thank you, Phil. No problem, Ricky!